GutPunched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers. Navigating the insidious illness of Alzheimer's is something nobody asks for. The disease sneaks up on you and your loved one, and it feels like you've been sucker punched in the gut. Then you ask, where do we turn for help? Who do we call? What do we do? These questions and more are what we hope to answer and give you some direction and hope. Now let's join our host, Jeff Edwards.
Greetings and welcome. How we doing this week? Good, I hope. Question for you. Did you go outside and look at the eclipse this week? I only looked once, and I wasn't that excited about it, but I saw some great pictures. This week, as we begin, we'd like to say thank you to all of you who have given us some positive feedback and some really good ideas on topics to discuss in the upcoming programs. We're still discussing how to introduce these ideas, but we're working on it. One idea was in the news, stories and articles that have been popping up in the mainstream media outlets but don't get a lot of traction. If you missed it, you miss it. For example, how scents work to treat dementia and depression. Another suggestion was celebrities who are themselves or a loved one experiencing some form of dementia. For example, Bruce Willis with frontal temporal dementia, aphasia, or Jay Leno's wife of 40 years, Mavis, who has severe dementia. Something to think about. And another good one will be legal rights and responsibilities of dementia caregivers. With that one, we are currently searching for some elder care attorneys to talk with in hopes they will share some of the ways to protect you and your loved ones. For example, durable power of attorney, health power of attorney, trusts, guardianship, and more. Some pretty good ideas from our listeners, so thank you very much.
We'll be right back to GutPunched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Are you the caregiver for someone living with dementia? You're not alone. The Dubin Center in Fort Myers offers free educational classes and support.
The Dubin Center has given me a shoulder to lean on.
Call today or visit us at dubincenter.com to learn more.
This is GutPunched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Hi again. You know, sometimes repetition is good. So here are two very important rules to learn and live. First, you have to take care of yourself so you can be there for your loved one. And second, you can't do it alone. Later in the program, we'll be talking with Tina Hemmings from Visiting Angels. She's a home health administrator, and she manages and supports all aspects of various programs delivering comprehensive and compassionate home health care services to clients across Florida. Tina is also a certified dementia practitioner. You know, as we have said many times, we want the emphasis of the podcast to be on caregivers and what to expect on this journey and where to look for help and resources that are available. So let's get started. This week, we'll be talking with Tina Hemmings from Visiting Angels based in Punta Gorda, Florida, serving Cape Coral, North Fort Myers, Sanibel, Pine Island, and Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. As a home health administrator, she manages and supports all aspects of various programs, delivering comprehensive and compassionate home health care services to clients across Florida. She has over 10 years of experience in health administration, and she's also a certified dementia practitioner, demonstrating her commitment to providing quality care and education to both caregivers and clients. Her mission is to empower and enable people to live independently and comfortably in their own homes. Greetings, Tina. Thanks for joining GutPunched. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Visiting Angels?
Absolutely. So Visiting Angels is a local franchise. It's a non-medical home health care agency serving the areas that you had mentioned. And what we do is we try to keep our clients in their homes as long as they possibly can.
Aside from today, what's your typical day like, and what do you do throughout the day?
Yeah, so there's no typical day in home health care. So on any given day, we can have clients calling and needing services immediately, clients going into the hospital, so we have to reroute them via EMS. We have caregivers with emergencies or stuff that comes up with them constantly, so we may have to facilitate them going in different directions, or clients that need care more urgently than others. So we may have to redirect some things. So no 2 days are the same. It just depends. We've done everything from, like I said, making sure that we do wellness checks because we can't get a hold of certain clients. A month or two ago, I dealt with a caregiver who brought her emotional support chicken with her to a shift. So any 2 days are never identical.
What is home care? Explain that.
Home care is the ability to keep your loved ones safe and secure in their home where they're comfortable. So obviously we all heal and feel better when we are home within our own space versus a hospital or a rehab or anywhere else. They'll serve their purposes, but we really truly heal the best when we're at home. So our goal is to send caregivers in the home to help our clients to do some of the things, to be the extra set of eyes, ears, hands that they may need to be able to live safely within their home, whether it's meal preparation, some light housekeeping, transportation assistance, or just that extra set of hands thereby so they can get in and out of the shower safely.
Good. And how does home care benefit the loved one? You started to talk about it, but are there extra benefits for being home as opposed to being in a facility or being just taken care of from the caregiver with no help?
Obviously, like I said, we do heal better or feel better when we're in our own space. Most of us don't like to be outside of our home. It's hard for us to stay at other places. So being able to sleep better in our own bed and have our familiar surroundings is important, especially when you're dealing with clients with dementia or Alzheimer's. That familiarity and keeping things consistent is extremely critical to their care.
Okay. There's a term called respite care. We hear that a lot.
Mhm.
What is that? Explain that.
Yeah, so respite care is caregivers coming into the home outside of the familial caregivers in an effort to give the loved ones a break. A lot of times what I see in my experience is that family members have, their job is to take care of their loved one. That's what we do by nature. But we tend to forget about ourselves when we do that because we're so hyper focused on what our loved one needs. Letting ourselves go, forgetting to get that haircut that we used to get every Friday, or just going for coffee with a friend that you haven't seen for a while, or playing that round of golf, or some of the more critical stuff, getting yourself checked at the doctor to make sure nothing is wrong with you and that you stay healthy. That's what we do as far as respite care is we come in to be your loved one's kind of caregiver while you go take care of yourself to make sure that you stay on the up and up.
Okay. I understand that very well. What is caregiver burnout? We talk about that a lot. What tips do you have for us?
Honestly, caregiver burnout it's you as a loved one or whoever is a loved one taking care of your family member and, once again, not taking time for yourself. I tell a lot of my clients' families when I go into the homes that more times than not, I go in and I see whether it's a husband or wife taking care of the other, they tend to go out or they end up in the hospital with a medical condition because they didn't take care of themselves or they didn't have the ability to take care of themselves or they just wore themselves too thin. They're trying to take care of themselves, they're trying to take care of the house, they're trying to pay the bills, they're going grocery shopping, and they're taking care of their loved ones. So it's the ability to take on too much and not having any time to regroup for yourself that will absolutely cause caregiver burnout.
Any tips on how to cure that caregiver burnout?
Have some time for yourself. If you've got another family member that can step in for a couple hours and give you a breather, if you can hire an agency like ours, or another one locally to be able to jump in and help out to give you that break that you need so you can regroup. That's the best I can offer for sure.
No, that's great. Do you have any links to websites or other organizations that you may use or a caregiver who's listening could say, "Oh, I might want to check that out," and be able to go online and look at it?
Yeah, so we work with a bunch of different agencies. Hope Pace Center is a really good one. There's different local ones within the different areas, and they've got a community center for clients that can go out. They help with some medical care. So there's a lot of different resources that they have through the Hope Pace Center program. So I would definitely recommend that one as an option. Meals on Wheels is definitely another one for those who find it hard to be able to get up and cook full meals for themselves, to have those delivered to the homes. Those are definitely good and helpful as well. I know that even to have the meals delivered to their loved one, it would take a burden off of them, to have to sit in the kitchen and cook a full meal for them.
Yeah.
So, something that they could just quickly warm up that meets the nutritional requirements that their loved one needs is definitely going to be beneficial.
Okay, we'd like to thank Tina for giving us some very helpful and important information that we can share with our listeners. It's been a pleasure spending some time with you. Have a great rest of the week.
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Are you the caregiver for someone living with dementia? You're not alone. The Dubin Center in Fort Myers offers free educational classes and support.
The Dubin Center has given me a shoulder to lean on.
Call today or visit us at dubincenter.com to learn more.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Well, I think that'll do it for this week. We hope you were able to get some helpful information today. If you know someone who has a family member or friends who have a family member with Alzheimer's or any type of dementia, it would be great if you let them know about this podcast. To find your local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, you can visit alz.org/local resources/find your local chapter. Or you can use the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116 or use the Elder Care Locator online tool. And maybe you want to check out the Dementia Society of America at dementiasociety.org. As this podcast grows, so will the links to resources and helplines. Now, if you have any questions or thought about Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, or if there's a specific topic you'd like to know more about, reach out to us. And please keep them coming. The website is gutpunched.com, and the email address is gutpunchedac@outlook.com. A special shout out to Rick Peterson, Aura Santana, Gentry Thomas, the Dubin Center, and of course my wife for their tremendous help and support in making this podcast happen. Thanks for joining us, and please come back again. God bless.
This has been Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, with your host, Jeff Edwards. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to us on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple, Pandora, and more. If you have a question or want to get in touch, our email is gutpunchedac@outlook.com.